Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Hey, welcome back to Luna Live. G here, Luna Geckos. You know what? We're going a little bit late tonight, and you can see the vivariums behind me. About 5 minutes ago, the lights flipped off, so the cresteds will probably come out. And if you see them, I probably won't notice. But if you see them out on the glass, comment so I can turn around and say hi, maybe pull one of them out and let everybody see them. Hey, if you had a chance, this is our second Luna Live. And I hope you had a chance to catch our first on Saturday with Jay from Eco, almost said Echo. That'll make sense if you watch the first one. But Jay from Eco Geckos, man, what a great show. That guy's got some of the best black knights in the world. And I think one of the original comments was that Jay is the sexiest breeder in the world or alive. I forget. Nonetheless, I personally think that our guest tonight, Sam Fard from Reptile Express International, is hands down the sexiest reptile shipping guy in the world. No question about it. We'll have to ask him and see what he thinks. I bet Ashley agrees. That'll make sense in a minute. But I was thinking about, I met Sam about 2 years ago when I left the United States and moved to Toronto. And I had to figure out not only how to move my life to Toronto, but I got to get all my geckos to Toronto. And I reached out to Sam, and what an amazing experience. And we became friends. And we've done TV commercials together. We've done all kinds of stuff in addition to shipping geckos. but it's pretty cool to have Sam on. We were hoping to have him on as our first guest, but the weather's starting to break in Canada, and he's busy, very busy. So we were lucky enough to squeeze him in, and we're going to ask him here in a minute. You know what? I'll go to the phone. I'll go to G phone after. Let's put Sam behind the logo there, just so we can see if we hear him. Sam, you hear us? You're muting, or you're gobbling up a little bit.
I'm right here.
Oh, there we go. Say something to everybody before we reveal you.
What's up, guys? How are you doing? I'm excited about tonight. Let's get it going.
There you go. Well, Sam, before I show your face, I have this vision, and I always ask people, like, how'd you get into the reptile business or get addicted to this community or hobby or business, whatever you want to call it? And when I think about you, I think back to childhood and most people's story where they played with reptiles or they had toy dinosaurs, but yours has to be different. Like, I can imagine you had your Tonka truck and you had your plastic dinosaurs, and you said, man, those would go good together. If I put the dinosaurs in the truck, I could take them everywhere. Is that what happened? Let's see Sam. Everybody say hi to Sam. Is that how it happened?
What's up, guys? You're actually very, very close to what happened. I'm actually surprised you were that close.
No,
so
I didn't.
Was that
I didn't have a Tonka
my
truck. I have three sisters, so I had a Barbie dream car. But it's cool, man. Don't knock the Barbie dream car. Tell the story. How'd this all start?
Yeah, so back when I was younger, my dad was actually going to start up he was an importer-exporter as well, but with auto parts, definitely not animals. And he wanted to start a courier business. And that's what I've always wanted to do, is have a transportation company. And then I also liked animals. It'd be amazing to mix these two together, courier business and animals. And several years later, when I grew up, I finally got my dream to happen. Yeah, so that's how it happened.
Wow.
But as for liking animals and stuff, it's the same story as everybody else, collecting tadpoles and ponds and keeping them for a few days and all that, checking out what's in the backyard and all that kind of stuff. So it's the same story as everybody else.
Oh, for sure. So this isn't new. I think it's on your website, celebrating 10 years of Reptile Express International. 10 years?
Or Reptile Express, exactly 10 years ago, a couple months ago. Yeah. But in the industry, in the community, I've been here since about 18, 19 years.
Yeah, you used to talk about that a little bit. You're still a keeper, not at the level as before because you're a busy guy, but
yeah,
you used to breed, right?
Yeah, I've done basically almost everything that there could be done in the reptile industry. I was a collector turned breeder of leopard geckos, did that for a few years. Then I had an actual reptile specialty pet store. I did that for a few years. And then I realized I enjoyed shipping the animals to my customers more than I did breeding the animals or running a pet store. So I looked into that further, and there was nothing like that back. It wasn't even that long ago. It was 10 years ago. But we've come so far in 10 years. So I looked into how to make that more simple for Canadians. Whereas you guys in the US, you've been pretty spoiled for a couple decades, been able to ship reptiles with FedEx easily and without hassle from them. But for Canada, it was something ridiculous. They didn't even want to talk to anybody about it. They didn't want to approve that kind of a contract.
Really? Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah,
we take it for granted. Now there's nuance to it, and we could talk about that in a little bit. So I think we should cover both aspects. We should talk about, because I imagine there's going to be people either on live with us right now or people that watch this later, and it's going to be the full spectrum. there's going to be avid, large-scale breeders, and there's going to be guys and gals that this is their first season. They have 5 babies, and they got to figure out how to get it somewhere. So the first thing, and I think this is really important, is we always want to do it legally. Oh, I just hit the mic. We want to do it legally, safely, but there's nuance. I had a breeder reach out to me, like a first-time shipper, and they said, okay, I've got the animal all boxed up. I'm at FedEx now. What do I do? I said, no, it doesn't work like that. You can't just go to a FedEx counter and say, give me a label to ship this animal. You have to go through a vendor like you that has an agreement. I don't know if it's called a license or whatever, but you have a contract with FedEx to be allowed to ship live animals. Right?
Yes, true. So what you have to do is we had to send them our boxes for testing in Memphis, Tennessee. Even though we're in Canada, they still wanted us to send them to Memphis, Tennessee, and they do drop tests on the box, crush tests, and you have to do a mock-up box packing up as to pretend like there's an animal in there. You actually even have to put a deli cup in there, and so they can check it all out. It takes about 5 months for that to go through. It was very frustrating and annoying how long it took. But once it got approved, we got the contract, and now we're able to have ourselves and our customers ship reptiles through our contract legally with FedEx.
Yeah, I don't. If I ship with you or one of the U.S. providers, I know you have a relationship because you bring stuff across the border. You have a relationship with Reptiles to you on the U.S. side. But if I go into either your website or I go into Reptiles to you website, I put where I'm shipping from, who I'm shipping to. First, I got to have an account, but that's pretty easy. And I got to put in what the species is and size of my box and all that. And it ultimately generates a FedEx shipping label. But from that point forward, I never talk to FedEx. If I have any customer service needs, I reach out to you or I reach out to Debbie or whoever the representative is with the Reptile shipping company. It's in because you're the ones that will make the call to Indianapolis because everything gets stuck in Indianapolis. I want to go up there. We're going to have to do a Luna Live from Indianapolis and find out what the hell's going on up there. We're going to make a road trip. You want to go after COVID, Sam? We're going to be like, what the hell's going on here? Everything goes through Memphis like this. It gets to Indianapolis, and they're like, I'll just put it on a shelf for a little bit, and we'll see what happens.
So true.
Maybe they're all watching race cars or something. I don't know what's going on in Indianapolis. It seems like every time I get something that routes through Indianapolis, I'm lighting candles. I'm staying up all night. I'm like, please get through Indianapolis. Now, the good news, when stuff gets stuck in Indianapolis, they have an indoor temperature control facility, and they're really good at when you guys call. If I called, they'd be like, who are you? And they hang up. But when you guys call, or Debbie or whoever, they're really good at getting those live animals and protecting them. But I hate Indianapolis. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
the
FedEx.
beauty of you guys in the U.S. is but Debbie has access to like a telephone number called One Call through FedEx. We don't have any, and she's able to prioritize stuff and get stuff expedited so well through that number. That's how she does her magic. But in Canada, we don't have that access, which is weird. So I've actually put in a request last week, and my account executive is looking into it. There is something for Canada, but you need this special permission. They don't just give out that number to anybody. So I'm waiting for that. So that's how Debbie's able to do what she does right now. And then in Canada, we had all their FedEx agents they went from being Canadian from Canada, and now they're outsourced to different countries around the world. So the customer service experience with FedEx has gone downhill with the telephone communication part of things, but their reliability, I mean, in Canada, they are fantastic, amazing.
I don't think now I haven't. I was only in Toronto for a year, and I've shipped way more animals in the U.S. than I have in Toronto. But I don't recall. We shipped quite a few with you. I don't recall ever having a delay. I think I remember because you get up into those northern territories, and sometimes it's a 2 day, and the last leg's on a dog sled, and they got to get it safely there. We got Jason way up there. We get animals to him on a dog sled, but I don't remember ever having a delay in Canada. In fact, I think a couple of the 2 day ones ended up getting there the next day.
Yeah, I was remember just going to say that you had 2 day shipments. They get there the following day. So yeah, they're really good here. Impressive.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The only time they really did terribly was this past December. I've never experienced such a terrible reliability issue with them. They were delayed, backlog for 5-6 days.
Yeah, the U.S. has been tough too.
Yeah.
And again, it cleared up in January, and we just had that freak storm that swept across the South and affected Memphis, and we've been delayed for the last several weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks since the storm.
3 weeks now.
But I'm starting to hear people say it's cleared up and it's safe again. So I have a couple shipments coming in next week. So I've been delaying them on purpose. I hope they get here safe and sound.
Yeah, I exported to the U.S. a few boxes last week, and they all got there safely, thankfully. So
overnight, no delay?
Yeah, overnight, no delay, yeah.
That's great. They didn't go through Indianapolis.
No, that's why they made it there.
I'm just kidding. We love Indianapolis. My first and only IndyCar race I've ever been to in my life was the Indy 500. So it's kind of like if your first football game you ever go to is a Super Bowl, you should probably never go to another football game. So I haven't been to another Indy race since the Indy 500. Great time.
Yeah, I bet.
So I got to ask you, because you are still a keeper. So let me pull this up. Chelsea, give me the G phone. Where is it?
Why? I don't think you're ready.
I wasn't ready. Now I'm ready. There it is. Reptile Express International. And I'm dying on Wi-Fi right here. So let me kill my Wi-Fi. Go back for a second. Figures, we're on live, and I got a Wi-Fi problem. That's why we're on a LAN. Alright. 5G, baby. There it is. Reptile Express International. There's your Instagram. Oh, hey, look. Nice post. Appreciate that. A lot of love, man. But you're a keeper. Hey, the horn. There's your Tonka truck.
Yeah.
That's nice. Nice. We were together when I left Canada. We happened to be both exporting on the same day. So we were sitting in
saw you pass by me.
Yeah, we were sitting in the green room there, waiting to get inspected. There's a TV and television and print ad and all the stuff we did for TELUS. That was fun.
Yeah.
Couple long days. But that's the Star And just to give you a little backstory on this, the way Telus is famous for doing animals in their commercials, and the backstory on this was they recreated a scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where they were all in the museum, and each of our geckos played a character from that scene. And my female Mandarin Tangerine played Sloane, who was Ferris's girlfriend, and Sam, this is Sam's gecko, that gecko played Ferris and was the star, the male lead of the commercial. What is that gecko?
The male lead. Yeah.
No, but
the Stropher's tentacle.
Say it again, because I freaking hate scientific names. That's a spiny tail gecko to me. Scientific. I think half the people that use scientific names don't know what the hell they're saying. They just make it up, and nobody is going to question them because they don't know how to pronounce it either. So
exactly,
it's a spiny tail gecko or golden. What's the common?
They go by both names.
And they're from Australia.
Australia, yeah.
I thought I had.
But for this species, most people mention their scientific names.
Oh, there's a better one.
Yeah, that's when I first was about to get it. Yeah. It's a picture that a European seller took, and I was about to get it.
Yeah, the eyes are awesome. You have a 1-2 group on that now?
Yeah, 1-2 group, and I just ordered a 1.1 of Ciliaris as well. So soon.
How many subspecies? It's quite a few, right?
Yeah, I think there's I don't know. I can't. There's 5 right now that are pretty popular.
Okay. They're what's their care like? They're arboreal.
They're arboreal. They never hide in the day. They do like a little. I give them a little bit of heat spot in the tank. They do like that. And at nighttime, they're very actually vocal and active. Oh yeah.
Really?
Very cool to watch at nighttime. Yeah.
So kind of like a lychee where they're chattering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
And they don't even eat that much. A few times a week. That's it.
What are you feeding them? Just insects?
Just the crickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they won't eat so they're insectivores. They're not frutivores like most new cows.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very easy to take care of.
I think before I left Canada, you got eggs. Did you hatch those?
No, they didn't. They were.
They were pretty young, so the pair.
But I just posted a picture the other day of them breeding. It was 2-3 weeks ago. They were breeding.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So and she's looking plump now. So hopefully this time they'll be fertile.
They're really cool. What about temperature? Because Australia, I guess, is a little more arid for the most part. Yeah. So they're not tropical. They don't like the high humidity like a crested or.
No, they don't like high humidity. Pretty dry, but I do miss them a few times a week, and they do like that hot spot. But otherwise, the ambient's about 70, 72, and they do actually go towards the hot spot quite a bit during the day.
Yeah. So environmentally, it's a crested gecko, except drier.
Yeah.
Because that's a crested room temperature, right? I mean, anywhere between. They like the low to mid 70s, but you can go, high 60s all the way up to 80, and they'll do fine.
Yeah, they would.
What about tank size?
A lot of people think crested at 80 is not good, but tank size, I have them in an 18 by 18 by 12 right now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I keep juvenile cresteds in, and I have 2 1-2 groups of Urodactylotes. Scientific name I used right there. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but nobody will check. Yeah, I keep them in a 12 by 12 by 18. But they're, if I'm hitting 80 degrees in the room, that's hot. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But if your tank's big enough, it's not 80 degrees at the bottom. So. They're not dumb. They'll move.
Yeah.
We had that video a few weeks ago when we had the power outage and the snowstorm, and it didn't get hot. It got cold, and we were doing everything we could to try to keep the geckos alive, keep the room, as warm as possible. And all the new cows went to the bottom of the tank. I've got them all in bioactive vivariums. They went to the bottom of the tank and they dug down about 2-3 inches into the substrate. They buried themselves to try to stay warm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty wild.
Smart.
I was going through the tanks. I'm like, they're gone. They're all gone. I can't find. Because if we didn't get power back on and the temperature kept falling, we were going to have to evacuate. And so I started getting deli cups ready, and I got to start loading everybody out. And I started looking around for them just to prep. I couldn't find a single new cow. They were all in the substrate. They dug in. Pretty smart.
Never heard that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So give some advice. Maybe walk a new breeder through. What do they have to do? So I did that poll, and it ended up being 75-25. 75% of the people want to talk about import-export, but 25% of the people still want to know about shipping. And for the most part, what you talk about is Canadian domestic shipping, which you also now recently in your Tonka van truck thing just launched a courier service, like the only courier service in Canada, maybe one of the first in North America, if not the first.
Yeah, first in America.
Yeah, so most of what Sam talks about for you first-time shippers, like how to do it, how to safely do it, how to pack, whether to use a heat pack, not use a heat pack, cryo pack, do I put holes in the box, do I not put holes in the box? This is good information for everybody, but especially for, I'm about to ship my first gecko ever. What should they do?
So my best advice would be not to cheap out on the supplies. Don't make your own unless you're really good at it. Buy it from Reptiles to You, ship your reptiles, or us in Canada. We actually carry the 1-inch styrofoam. I wanted to custom make it properly, thick styrofoam, bright stickers. We have green stickers, yellow stickers, red stickers all over the box.
Yeah, I got one of your boxes here. I'm going to grab it. Keep talking.
Yeah, you can't miss the fact that there's a live animal in one of our boxes. We make it very visible for the drivers, for the people in the warehouse, to put some more care into these. Or if it's delayed in transit or in the container full of hundreds of other packages, and we want them to go grab it, pull it out of these huge containers, they can easily identify our boxes amongst many of them. So it has a lot of benefits to doing that. So my advice would be, so did you find it?
No, I did, but it's over here in shipping and receiving, which is a closet, and they're all the way at the bottom. And so I was going to create like an avalanche if I dug one out, but it is noticeably thicker foam. But I did find these. So
there you go.
Every time you buy a box from Sam, he gives you all these stickers, keep warm and live harmless reptiles, bunch of live animal stickers, all kinds of stickers.
Yeah.
No, that's a TSK box. So, babe, his are brown. It's okay. Please.
And we just came out with the urgent stickers too. So.
What are they?
Yeah. They're urgent stickers in bright red and white.
There you
stickers, go.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't deal with this in Canada. Well, we had to write live harmless reptile on the box. That's a FedEx thing. But you give us stickers for that.
I give you stickers,
and then you had to write,
because when you write in pen on that,
you had to write what the species. You had to put the species and common and scientific name. So even FedEx wants a scientific name. I don't know why. I can't. I have them real big, like on my wall, because I can't ever. Eublepharis macularis, I can spell. The other ones,
Yeah.
I can't spell. Um,
Yeah.
and then down here in the U.S., a little bit different. You have to comply with the Lacey Act, and you
Yeah, we don't
can
have
go
that.
online and just print. I got one right here. Hold on. And some states are a lot more serious about this. Florida and California are real serious. But we got these
Yeah.
little Lacey Act stickers that you have to check. Is it a tortoise or I mean, is it a reptile or is it aquatic? And then here is where you put
Yeah.
the species and how many and all that stuff. So I put these on all U.S. shipments.
Yeah. Thankfully, we don't have that requirement in Canada.
Yeah, it's just a sticker. I mean, you can buy them or you can just go online and find them and print them out. Now, if you print them out,
Yeah.
these are glossy, so they won't get, if they get wet, they don't get ruined, just like your stickers.
Exactly.
But if you print this out and just tape it to the box, if it's raining or if it gets wet, it's all going to erase. So if you do that, make sure you tape over it.
Yeah.
So keep talking about first time shipping. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. But I love the stickers. Every time I get one of your boxes, I get so excited.
I think we're all a kid at heart, you know, and the stickers make it fun. So I definitely like to include them. But yeah, so I'm just saying, don't cheap out on the supplies. Get the cryo packs. Even on our websites, I mentioned cryo packs are highly recommended. I mean, these things are a huge bonus as a backup device. For example, if you put heat packs in a box and it gets too warm, you messed up kind of in the preparation. These cryo packs, to some degree, will absorb the excess heat and keep it nice and ambient in the box. I just swear by them, and I personally don't ship anything without one of them being included in the box. And every time a customer has received them, they've said, "Oh my God, the ambient temperature in the box was super comfortable." So definitely, if you can get, I know they're a bit pricey, $5-6 Canadian, but I mean, what's your animal's worth, right?
Yeah. What's a life worth?
Help a lot.
Hey, talk about that a little bit more, because what a cryo pack is designed for is you put it in the freezer, and it's actually designed for hot shipping, which shipping in hot weather scares me way more than shipping in cold weather, because I can warm a gecko up, I can't cool him down, or a snake or any reptile. Hot weather is an absolute no-go. Cold weather down to a reasonable temperature. If I'm shipping, to a ship center for pickup, and we could safely ship in the colder months. It's the hot months that it's a no-go. But you're talking about cold weather shipping with a heat pack and also a cryo pack. So I imagine that cryo pack's not frozen, just room temperature.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of testing as well as a lot of experience over 10 years, and we can ship down to minus 20 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that converts to Fahrenheit.
I hate Celsius. I can't do it.
I know. But yeah, down to minus 20, we can do that. And then with the utilizing heat packs and everything like that. So when it comes to winter shipping, for example, yesterday we shipped 20 boxes. Each box had one heat pack. It's starting to get warmer here, but it gets kind of cold at night. So we use one heat pack. Now, if I'm ever like, oh my God, is this too much for the daytime, when the animals are out in the daytime heat, I just put a cryo pack in there. And I don't freeze the cryo pack. I don't heat up the cryo pack. It's actually still kind of solid when you leave it at room temperature. but it's not cold or hot. So I just customers put it in the box as is, and then it will actually liquefy if there's excess heat in the box. So if somebody ever
Yes, it
opens the
does.
box up and the cryo, it actually backed you up. It actually kind of saved your shipment. But if somebody opens the box up and it's still solid, it means everything was going fine as it was. So,
I have a funny cryopack story. I told you earlier. I've been shipping with a 40-hour heat pack, a Uniheat heat pack, but also adding a cryo pack. And if you look at the chart, there's a chart, you can look it up online. So just when you bust open your heat pack and you shake it and you put the red line on the outside so it gets airflow, it's not instant heat. There's a ramp up period. It takes, I think, 3-4 hours before it gets to maximum heat. So I worry in that interim, I worry about the temperature in the box. So I've been taking cryo packs, and instead of room temperature, I put them in my male incubator for usually just for like 5 minutes, and that incubator's at 90 degrees. So I haven't gunned them, but when I pull them out, I bet they're somewhere in the 80s instead of in the 70s. And I feel like, all right, that's going to hold me for the next 3 hours until that heat pack gets up. And then by then, that cryo pack will just be box temperature. And then from that point, it'll do what you're describing, right? If you get excess heat in the box, the cryo pack will absorb it. Well, I got busy. I don't remember what I was doing, checking for eggs, cleaning bins, and I forgot that I had put 6 of them in the male incubator, and 2 of them exploded. And that cryo pack juice was all over the incubator. It still stinks. This was like 3-4 weeks ago, and every time I open it, it smells like a Dow chemical factory. And I don't think I can ever get. It's never going away, is it?
No, I don't think so. It's hard to clean up.
Well, the good news is we don't put holes in our cups for incubation, so all of our eggs in the incubator are sealed in sealed deli cups, so they're not getting any of that chemical or any of that stink that I get hit in the face with every time I open the incubator. But so be careful with your cryo packs.
With the heat packs, the 40 hours take 1 hour to activate. The 60, 72s take about 2 hours. So what I actually do is I put them in a thick towel, the 40 hours for 1 hour, the 60 hours for 2 hours. So they're nice and warm 2 hours later, and you can definitely feel the heat. And then I put them inside the box. So they got already their warmth going.
Is that what
the cryo pack?
You primarily use the 40 hour? Is that what you recommend?
My combinations are 40 and 60 hours. I don't use anything less than 40.
Do you have like a 240 case we're going through Indianapolis? Just in case it's there for the week. we want to be safe.
We'll call it 6 hour packs.
We'll call it the Indianapolis pack. We're going to market it.
That's good. Yeah, but definitely, go for cryo packs if you already haven't. They're lifesavers. I know Debbie from Reptiles to You, she actually got me on board with them. She's been talking about them for years, and I finally pulled the trigger. And she was right. I love them.
Hey, I imported a gecko with you. And you could talk about that process in a minute, but basically we give them to you or ship them to you in Toronto. Richmond help, and then probably everywhere now because you're driving around. But we get them to you, and you take them across the border through Fish and Wildlife, and then you ship them from your New York office. And I gave you a gecko that was going to Southern California, and I said, "Nah, it's fine. You don't need to do anything." And you didn't believe me, and you put a cryo pack in, and that gecko got stuck on a truck. You saved its life. Yeah. So listen to the shipper. I don't care how many geckos you've shipped, you're never going to ship as many as Sam. So he was right. I was wrong. That might have been my first public admission ever of being wrong. Was it? Let's ask handy dandy camera lady if.
Well, when you're with me, you're wrong a lot. So.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm wrong more than once.
Yeah, I noticed Winter Meadow Gecko
yours
asked, how do you find shipping has changed during the pandemic? It's actually a really good question. It basically changed overnight. So it was last March, mid-March, about shutdowns. And I was doing an import with the U.S. March 28th, I think. So I was watching the news every day. Oh my God, does this mean no more U.S. shipping? And I kept calling U.S. Customs, Canada Customs, and nobody knew at that time. And then we got closer to March 28th, and the customs officers were saying, yes, we can do it because you can do it because you're in trade and commerce and you're actually transporting them. That's allowed, so that's essential. So thankfully, I was able to go ahead with the imports. That part got cleared up pretty quickly, but it was stressful 2 weeks for me to figure that out. And then all of a sudden, April, we got bombarded with orders, Canadian domestic orders. It just took off. So I did March 28 import, then I stopped it. We kind of got freaked out with the virus. We said we're not doing any more. This was the last one for a couple months until we figure out what's going on. But then April got really busy domestically, thankfully, and we just got slammed. I was working 14-hour days because people couldn't drive across, go to pet stores and pick up their animals or whatnot. So everybody was shipping. So 14-hour days, I was working from March until August. No sleep, barely any sleep. And then in September, which is our absolute peak season. So it was not only peak season, but it was COVID high volumes. So that meant I was working more than 14 hours. So I decided to pull the plug and I hired 2 new staff to help me out. And thank God I did what I did because it was just getting busier and busier.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pandemic changed everything overnight. The volumes went crazy.
Yeah. Well, some of that too was expos disappeared. So anybody that wanted an animal couldn't go next weekend to a expo and just get their animal. Almost everybody had to rely on shipping. In addition to animals, that's how you got toilet paper and paper towels and crickets and everything else. So they got buried. They did. I have a funny one of the things I miss about Canada. I love you guys up there. Is everybody's so nice, and I remember shipping. I lived in Etobicoke, just off to the west of downtown Toronto, and I would go on your website and I would put my order in and I'd get my label and I would take it to the FedEx right there in Etobicoke. And because of the pandemic, the line would be like all the way down the building. But I had a pre-printed label, so I would skip the line, sit it on the counter, see y'all later, and nobody got mad. That's how nice Canadian. If I would have did that in New York, I wouldn't be on the phone with you right now. Louisiana. I'd be dead. So you can tell they're thinking, hey, he's cutting the line, but they didn't want to say anything. And then I started to feel bad. So before I'd go in, I'd be like, it's just a drop off. It's prepaid. And I would run out as fast as I could. But Adam, I see you on. You imagine in New York trying to cut a line? That wouldn't be good. I don't care what's in the box. You're not cutting that line. They'll take you down.
Yeah, those lineups were just ridiculous.
Oh.
It takes like 45 minutes to get in there. Yeah, thank God for the prepaid labels.
Yeah, it was nice. It was certainly nice. And I think the first time I did it, I got in line with everybody else, and it was raining, and it was cold, and I'm like, this sucks. And then I realized I got to prepaid label. I can just go in and sit it on the counter. I don't even have to wait for a receipt. I'm like, just scan it because I'll get the email as soon as they scan it. So, boy, it was convenient.
Yeah.
So how about, what's import-export look like? And there's this, so you have all these breeders that say they finally decided, okay, I'll ship, but I'm only going to ship domestically, but they all want to ship internationally. And the easiest is Canada, US, US, Canada. So we'll start with that, and then we can talk about, Europe and Asia and all. Give me the, while he's opening this, give me the G phone screen. I'm going to show everybody Sam's website. So this is Reptile Express International, and it's
this one's
actually both work.
Website.
What's that?
This one is the domestic Canada website. This is reptileexpress.com.
And then Reptile Express International. All right, well, stay on that. So this is if you're going to ship domestically throughout Canada, you go to reptileexpress.com.
Now, if you click those tabs at the
right here,
3 lines at the top, right?
Import export. So now it's Reptile International. So this is how you inquire about import export.
Yeah.
Here's your upcoming dates: U.S., Canada. And what about internationally? I missed that.
To Europe?
Yeah, Europe, Asia. I mean, how many countries do you ship to right now?
So we do a lot of Europe, and when it comes to Asia, we do Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and I think I'm forgetting one, but yeah, all the main ones anyway. Those are the highest volume requests is from those areas.
I get a lot of Instagram messages, and they'll say, do you ship to X? And I send them your website and say, ask Sam.
Yeah.
Because really, well, I mean, from a breeder standpoint, the way it works, now you can do it either way. You could be Sam's client and you can cover everything and all the paperwork and everything. Or you can take your customer and say, you need to make arrangements and comply with all your paperwork with the import-export company like Reptile Express. And then what ultimately happens, the three of us will all communicate. Come shipping time, I'll ship to Sam. Sam will import to you and then finish the shipping leg wherever pickup or final destination is. And is that accurate?
Yeah, it's very accurate. So U.S. to Canada, we go down 2 to 3 times a month. Basically, an American seller would ship to our New York location, just like they would ship to any other U.S. client of theirs. It goes to New York. We pick it up on the Wednesday in the morning, and we go through Fish and Wildlife inspections. The officer looks through all our animals, boxes, and everything. And our van is so handy now because the agent can just walk into our van, and the animals don't have to be lugged in and out of warehouses, cold environments, outside environments. The agent just comes into our van, temperature controlled, does the inspection, and we're on our way with the paperwork. Then we go to Canada Customs. We pay the Canada Customs taxes on our client's behalf. And then we bring them back to Toronto that same afternoon. We rush, we repack them, we resort them, print out the new shipping labels, and within a couple hours, we're actually at FedEx and dropping off the animals so that they're at Canadian's door the following day. So it's actually a very go process, and no time to sit or relax, no time to eat or drink or barely go to the washroom. It's very fast. We make sure it's fast so the animals don't have to, be delayed for unnecessary reasons, and the customers get them the next day.
Now they get to you. So if they're going from U.S. to Canada, they get to your New York office on Monday or Tuesday I think you prefer Monday. No,
Yeah, they
you
ship
can't.
Monday for Tuesday.
Yeah, they ship
just to
Monday
give them
for
one day
Tuesday.
off.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then you bring them across on Wednesday, and then get them back out Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening for Thursday arrival.
Thursday.
So it's a
Yeah.
2-day door to door, unless the customer's in the GTA and then they just come get it, which is what I used to do. Yeah,
Exactly.
I would just meet you and
And
pick them up.
we have great success, even though it's 2-3 days process, but we have amazing success with it. And especially, we tell people don't ship hatchlings. That's not going to work out for international shipments. Crested geckos, they should be no less than 10 grams and stuff, so they can handle it. Yeah, so customers pay attention to that, and we have great success because of it.
What was that? I met the U.S. because when I left Canada, I had to go through that process with you. What was the inspector? She was a nice lady. What a nice lady.
She's the nice, amazing lady. And you're lucky because there used to be another guy. Oh my God, he was very strict and very rude.
He must have
Very
been
rude.
from
He would
Indianapolis.
yell at your face.
Was he from
Yes.
Indianapolis?
I think so.
He used to work
He
at
was
FedEx.
a military guy. That's all I know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never met anyone on the Canada side, but people were always like, "Oh, it's so expensive." It's not you. I mean, now you're a piece of that because you've got quite a bit of labor. You got a lot of hours, but duties and customs and FedEx are taking the majority of that.
Yeah, they are. So we got to pay. We actually hired a customs broker. We have to pay them. We have to pay the U.S. Fish and Wildlife inspection fees, Canadian shipping fees, all these kind of, and we fuel costs. It takes 4 hours round trip and gas. Toll fees. So we take we have the 407 we have in Canada. I don't take the 401 anymore. Too many delays. I almost missed my inspection.
Yeah.
No, so I take the 407. Unfortunately, it comes with a toll, so that adds about $100 to my expenses that day. So it's all these, but I mean, people get their animals on time because of it. But these expenses do add up, and yeah. But overall, though, I mean, our rates are still very, very good.
I agree. So what about international? Canada and from Canada to US, US to Canada. I've done that a lot now. So I know everybody's nervous about it, but I feel that's there's a couple extra steps in there, but it's almost the same as just doing Louisiana to California. International, if I'm going to, I used to ship to Ham, and then customers would pick up at Ham, which was great. But there hasn't been a Ham show now for a year. How's Asia, and what's that process? If I want to ship to Germany right now, or if I want to ship to, I don't know, Japan, what's that look like?
Yeah, there's in the U.S. that ship to Germany and Asia. If they're in the U.S., we can only do non-CITES. So if you have pythons, boas, we can't do that because we're a Canadian company. So that means if you have python boa, we got to get a CITES permit from U.S. to Canada, and then another CITES permit from Canada or Europe. So that's too many permits, and it's going to take a long time. We do CITES from Canada to other parts of the world. But from U.S. to other parts of the world, we can do non-CITES like geckos. And it's the same process. You ship it to New York, we get it in Toronto, and then we'll keep them here. We have an amazing setup here. Enclosures, very clean, daily maintenance, and they're well taken care of. They'll stay here for a week or so until we're done the prep work for the export documents and book the flight, and then we ship it to our agent in Germany. And European customers can either pick up in Germany, or we can courier them to most places within Europe. from New York, we get to Toronto, and then we book the flight direct from Toronto to Korea or whatever. It's so much easier and faster than the current method that people were using was shipping to U.S. to that guy in Europe, Netherlands or whatever, and he was then shipping it to Asia. So we're a bit faster that way.
Yeah, I've before you and I met, I had a couple Netherlands imports that they come in, I think, to LA, and then ultimately I was in Vegas at the time, so they came from the Netherlands to LA and then to me. And one of them was a 12-gram male Black Knight that I paid a lot of money because this is like 3 years ago. Black Knights were the price of a car.
Yeah.
You want to talk about 3 days of anxiety? You got a 12-gram, very expensive gecko coming from Europe. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't wait for that box. That was stressful.
Yeah,
and listen, you've shipped thousands upon, and you don't just ship geckos. You ship snakes, and in a second you could talk about CITES versus non-CITES because that confuses people too. But I've shipped hundreds of geckos, and I'm nervous every time because I'm putting an animal in a box that, in many cases I watched it hatch. And if I didn't see it hatch, I had it in my hand within, hours of it hatching. And then I watched it eat, and then I watched it shed, and I watched it poop and poop and poop and poop because they poop a lot. And then finally I decide I'm going to put it in a deli cup. I'm going to put it in a box, and I'm going to hand it over, and somebody else is going to get it to where yeah. So I get nervous every time. So I get it, and I know you do too. So you ship thousands upon thousands of animals, and you're watching that tracking information, and you're checking it off. Made it. Shit, it's in Indianapolis. made it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday we shipped everything from Europe to Canadians' doors, and I told my staff, I'm like, all these deliver notifications you're seeing, don't delete them. I want to take care of them. I want to see who's been delivered and who has issues and stuff like that. So, yeah, you never get used to it. You're always anxious and hoping for the best and everything. Yeah, it's something you'll never get used to.
So, this is primarily Luna Geckos. I mean, the name says it all. It's a non-CITES breeder. Like I deal with crested and gargoyle and leopard and African fat tail, Urodactylodes, Saracenorum. Hey, that was scientific. I don't know if I said it right, but it was scientific. I never have to deal with CITES permits. And I know people see that. They see CITES, non-CITES. What's it mean?
So CITES stands for the Convention of International Trade for Endangered Species. So animals like pythons and boas, a lot of the monitors, a few colubrids, not many, they're on it. So that basically just means that we got to apply for a permit before they can cross our national borders. And we've got that all. We've worked out all the kinks. We got templates up for it, and we're really good with that. We're experienced with it. So we'll apply for permits for America and Canada. We can do easily. And then once we get the permits, now unfortunately they do take a bit of time. Canada is pretty good. They're about 3 to 4 week turnaround. But the US, it ranges from one month to, a year even sometimes, especially right now. And then once you have that permit, that's when you have the green light to you're able to transport them across the borders. And you present that permit to a wildlife agent at the border during inspection. They stamp it, you keep a copy, they keep a copy, and it's all just recorded. And otherwise, if you don't do that and you bring I've heard about people relocating from U.S. to Canada with their pet iguanas, and iguanas are sightings.
I
And
didn't have
Canada
one.
Customs, yeah, Canada Customs agents, no, they don't even know. They, oh, what do you have? We got an iguana? Okay, go ahead. Even though they just literally smuggled a CITES animal across the border. So you will find customs agents that don't know the rules about this, but they are getting smarter, that's for sure. But they're also the dumb ones too. We got held up a few months ago by Canada Customs agents because he thought the leopard geckos were CITES, and where's my CITES permit? He held me up for 2 hours over that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they either take it too easy or too strict for no reason.
A leopard gecko's like a dog at this point. I mean, how do you not know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
You got other
But I mean, everything
stuff
from
going on, right?
what, the van?
Well, yeah. So one of the biggest anxieties is FedEx, and for Ontario, I don't know how big the territory is, but it looks like Southern Ontario for sure. You've cut FedEx out of the equation, and you're doing the courier. How's that work?
It's going really well. This past December, FedEx just dropped the ball. There was delays, 4 to 7 days delays, and it made me think. I have this gorgeous van sitting in the driveway. Why not put it into use outside of my import-export dates? And I started thinking, upping the reliability issue during the winter. So I started, marketing it, and it actually turned out to be same-day pickups and deliveries. I pick up from a customer within 4 hours. Their customer has it, and my service area for this is really eastern and southwestern Ontario. It's a pretty widespread area that I cover, and the customer gets real-time tracking on their phone. They can actually see us on the map like they would with ordering from Uber. They know when we're arriving to the second. It's really, really, people love it, and it's getting busier and busier.
Yeah, you're like the Reptile Uber.
Yeah, Reptile Uber, and it's temperature controlled. We don't even put a heat pack in there. Nothing. It's just beautiful, comfortable temperatures inside the van.
That's fantastic. And if people want to see the area, it's where reptileexpress.com. I remember looking at it, and you went further east than Pickering. Like you were way over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Belleville, and I go all the way across to Niagara Falls and London. It's a pretty wide area I do. So the funny thing with the van, a lot of people think, oh, he just got a van, but to get that van was such a nightmare, such a hurdle. I wanted to lease the van, but they're like, we can't give you insurance. What do you want to transport in this van? I said, live reptiles. It's like, what? Live reptiles? So I got hang-ups after hang-ups. Nobody wanted to take me on.
Really?
I figured it was going to, I thought it was going to be a smooth process. Here you go. I'm going to sign the lease. Here's my van. I'll have it tomorrow. Beautiful. No, nobody wanted to touch me. They said the insurance was going to be high, the liability. And they're not your animals either. They're somebody else's animals. Oh my God, you're opening up like a can of worms here. What if something happened to these animals? They're not even yours. So I went through over a month, maybe 24 insurance companies, and they all said no. And they all referred me to this one insurance company that takes on high-risk customers. I guess that was a high risk. And but with an unbelievably high premium cost. Like this cost is more than the lease amount in this van. I'm paying a few $1,000s per month for this van.
Holy cow.
It's pretty crazy. So it took a long time to set that up. But now it's beautiful. It's protected. It's insured. All the animals inside are insured. God forbid there's a fire or they get stolen. God forbid. And I also told them I go with this van to the USA. They're like, "Oh, you go to a different country with these animals too? That's a whole other thing we got to look into. That's another $10,000 a year you're looking at."
You like, I could see Canada. I'm like literally right here.
Yeah. Seriously.
Unbelievable.
It just didn't make.
Why?
But
Why
yeah,
are
so
there
I'm
so
thinking,
many? This is reptile discrimination. It's we're so used to it, but we got to stop. We got to stop this
yes,
reptile discrimination.
stand up. Even getting FedEx on board, 2012, because I wanted to ship reptiles, we had a huge mess of a situation caught it. Everything I do with this reptile business, I've had to fight tooth and nail just to get approvals. It's pretty crazy.
Wow. I bet. I mean, people are facing some crazy stuff right now in the U.S. I mean, we're dealing. This affects you. We're dealing with that potential New York live animal shipment ban or
Man,
prohibition. That's a disaster. So if you're even if you're not from if you're from New York, go write letters, call. Even if you're not from New York, go to USARC and right there on USARC's. It's usarc.org. Go right there
yeah,
on their main page, and it'll tell you about what's going on not only in New York, but New York and Florida and Illinois, and I think Eureka, California just put limits on you're only allowed to own like 10 spiders, and it's not reptiles. It's Eureka. That ban, I was reading it last night. You're only allowed to own 3 dogs. So it's not just us anymore. They're dealing with the furry ones too. So go to usarc.org and do your part. If you can help with monetary donations, do what you can. But everybody can squeeze out 5-10 minutes and make a phone call, send an email. It's all right there on their page. I know you're heavily involved.
yeah. New York is so that one affects me the most. The banning of shipping of animals, and Illinois. If you like the Tinley Park Expo, that's going to be
Gone.
over with if this bill goes through. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I love the Tinley Park Expo. That's my favorite. I'm not an expo guy, so the one if I do like an expo, I don't want it to go away. And then the New York one, they don't want to allow shipping of animals, so that affects us. That'll be basically mean no more imports exports with the U.S. on our end, and we're probably the biggest. I think we are the biggest that deals with U.S. and Canada on a regular basis, and the volumes that we do. I mean, we put $4 to $5 million worth of animals being traded between the two countries per year, and
Yep.
that'll all be gone if this bill goes through. So the alternative would be to drive all the way to Windsor, Ontario, to go through that port, but that's an 8-hour round trip drive. Got to get a hotel. I mean, it's counterproductive of what they're trying to do. This is just going to delay animals being in uncomfortable situations longer than they need to be because we got to drive to Windsor now
Well,
to go through Michigan.
yeah, same thing in New York. I mean, the animals they're gonna get shipped to. Now this just isn't us like keepers or small breeders. Imagine a pet store that sells bunnies or hamsters or fish. This New York ban is all live animals, so it's going to be bad. It's going to be worse for the animal because they're going to get shipped to Ohio or Pennsylvania or one of the other neighboring states, and then they're going to get trucked in. So it's not going to stop
Yeah,
animals from coming into New York. It's just going to make it worse for the animal.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Because there's
crazy.
no way people are just going to shut down their operations. I mean, we gotta live. We gotta keep the economy going. It's just in the end, it's just hurting the animals, and it's unfortunate. So if you can donate, please donate. We donated $1,000, and we're going to keep donating because they do amazing work.
Yeah,
That
you're
whole,
you're a
thing
gold
in
member
court
now.
with the reticulated. Yeah, gold member. And
Yeah.
yeah, and they won the reticulated python ban and everything not too long ago. So these guys, they know what they're doing. They have a really good team there. Definitely support them. They help us a lot.
Yeah, Adam's in. You're in Vermont, right? We've been waiting to ship Adam a couple Black Knights, but if if you're worried about feeder insects because it's a live animal, this Sunday, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, our regular Luna Geckos episode is Bug Day. So it's all about feeder insects. And hey, shameless plug. It's how we don't breed them all. We ship a bunch in, but it's some we do. I mean, we breed crickets, we breed dubia. So we talk through that on Sunday. So Sunday at 11, tune in for Bug Day. But you're right, it's crazy.
Yes. So another thing people I think should pay attention on more now than ever is banning the shipping of animals. If you have a shipment go wrong, or God forbid a DOA, the worst thing you can do right now, especially, is to post the This is agencies. That's all they need.
You broke up. You broke up for a second, but you're right on. So what Sam was saying is, if you have a bad shipping event and you have a DOA or unfortunate issue, don't post it. Because if you're out there saying, "Oh, I'm so upset," which you should be, we all would be, and it's so rare. I bet you might even have stats on this, but it's way less than 1%. Way less. It's like airline safety type levels. If you're out there posting about, oh, my gecko got stuck in Indianapolis and arrived dead, or was having a seizure, or whatever, it's sad, and we're with you, and we hate when that happens. But if you start posting about it, that's going to be up on a big giant screen at a public meeting in New York, and some crazy elected official is going to be going, "See, this is why we should ban live animal shipments."
Yes. There was this breeder in the U.S., ball pythons, 2 weeks ago. He had a shipment delayed. He didn't look at the weather. He didn't even know that there was a storm coming when you guys got hit with that storm in Memphis and Texas. He didn't even bother to check it. So it was 100% his fault. He shipped it. It got stuck. And it didn't even leave his state. He shipped from Florida. It didn't even leave Florida. But he made this huge post, let's go against FedEx. And everybody was tagging FedEx in the comments. They should be investigated for animal cruelty. And just going against FedEx, tagging him. I'm like, this is not helping. FedEx can, first of all, they can reject live animal contracts if they want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't even take within a second. They can be like, this is not even worth our time. What are you talking about? Live,
Do you really think that we're keeping FedEx alive? FedEx is keeping us alive.
We need them when they need us.
Now, if Amazon said, "I'm not using FedEx anymore," they're going to answer the phone. If Sam posts, "I'm done with FedEx, I'm only using DHL or UPS," they're not.
They don't care.
Yeah, they're going to delete the email. So we need them more than they need us. So you're right.
Actually, in 2012, they canceled our contract 3 times in 2012. They just didn't want to bother with it. Like,
really?
It's not worth our time. Yeah, 3 times we had to go back to the negotiation table. So after that experience, I know they can one night call me and say, "Hey, we're done. But this is not worth our hassle. People are posting these pictures and tagging us. It just doesn't help us."
So be smart. Yeah, be smart.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you've shipped thousands and thousands, and I know things happen. I've shipped hundreds and hundreds, and I've only had 2 out of hundreds, maybe 1,000 at this point. I've had 2, and one was my fault, where the destination weather was great, my weather was great, the in-between weather was not great. And that was my fault. And another one I would say was FedEx's fault because it went somewhere hot and was supposed to be delivered early by 10:30 a.m. and the driver missed that stop and it sat on the truck until like 5-6 o'clock in the evening. And that truck in 115 degree weather, that's bad. So very rare. So if I'm at if I'm at 1,000 animals and I have two, I have a West Virginia public education, so I can't do that math fast enough, but I guess that's 0.2%. Does that sound right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 99% reliable. 1% you'll have a bad experience, but
and that 1% doesn't mean a DOA. That most of the time that means it didn't make it next day. It got delayed, and it shows up the following day fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had animals show up 5-6 days later, and it was totally fine, even in the winter.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're big on this too. Is I'm done shipping door to door. I'm only shipping to a ship center, and if you want the animal, you're going to go pick it up. And they're, especially in Canada, that gets a little bit tricky, but in the U.S., there are ship centers everywhere. Everywhere. So there's no excuse. If you want an animal and you're worried about the welfare of that animal, if you have to drive 20 minutes to pick it up, you know what? You drive 20 minutes every morning to get your Starbucks, so you can go pick up your gecko. And if you're not comfortable with that, then I'm not going to sell to you because I'm not putting them on a truck anymore and letting them drive around all day potentially. So it's going to a ship center.
When I ship to the U.S., it goes to the...
You only do that, right? Must go to a ship center.
Yeah, when it comes to the U.S. stuff, must go to the ship. But in Canada, not so much because we don't have that many hubs.
Yeah, it's tough.
They're really far apart from each other. Yeah.
I remember I would get orders in Canada, and I would reach out to you, and I'm like, Sam, where the hell is this? Can I ship here? And you'd be like, no, it's 7 days. So I have to go back to the customer, and I'd be like, it's not gonna work. we can't get it to you. Where I wasn't used to that because I can ship anywhere continental U.S. I don't care what your address is. I can get an animal to you in 24 hours. And people were like throwing postal codes at me, and I'm like, I don't know. I got to ask Sam. And you're like, no, we're not shipping there.
I remember those emails. I'm like, only Santa Claus can deliver it.
Only Santa Claus.
Canada's so big, and most of it is like rural location.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I mean, I'm shipping the rural, like, farm country in the U.S. and it's getting there next day. But you're right. So, always check. Always check.
Yeah. Check your weather.
See, Adam said he'll go to the hub. He cares. He cares. An hour away. It's because you live in Vermont with Bernie Sanders. That's your fault. This is a non-political show.
He said he was going to ship you syrup. Be nice.
And we've now bashed a senator and New York lawmakers. Sam, this might be our last Luna Live, and we appreciate you taking us out, man. We really appreciate it. But as long as you support U.S. ARC, we're fine going off the air. So if we go off the air, you know what happened. Man, you want to do some Q&A? Wait, not yet. We forgot something. Let me get my glasses. We got one more thing. Give me a second. Make sure there's only appropriate stuff on my phone. Okay. Give me the G phone. So you got Reptile Express, Reptile International. Reptile Express is domestic Canadian shipping. Reptile International is your import-export business. You've now got the courier service in your Tonka van. And you got Reptile Classifieds, which I sold quite a few animals on Reptile Classifieds when I lived in Canada. I would say this is, I don't know if you like this or not, but this is Canada's morph market. Does that hurt? Is that okay? Can I say that?
Accurate?
Yeah, it's probably the best one for classifieds.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've checked out, make sure you check out reptileclassifieds.ca. And it's
so I have about 5-6 websites. This is one of them, and it actually even has shipping quote generator in the ad, so a customer can punch in their postal code, and they'll get the shipping costs will be if they bought that animal.
Hey, look at that! Hey, handy dandy!
Yeah, I think you're.
Look at that, Luna Geckos still on there.
Oh.
How about them apples? Yeah. No, this was great. You know, I just got to Canada. All my customers were in the U.S. I had an occasional Asia or European shipment. I don't think prior to moving to Toronto, I ever imported anything to Canada. And now, you know, I move right at the beginning of breeding season, and I'm about to produce, 200 plus animals, and I'm like, what am I going to do with them? I don't know anybody. I don't know any expos. I don't know. And I met you right out of the gate, fortunately. So you covered me up on shipping. I met the expo guys and plugged in instantly to that, which, the Toronto expos were great. And then Reptile Classifieds, I was good to go. So that was fantastic.
You plugged yourself in really fast. Very effective, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't waste any time.
Well, that's a lot of geckos to feed if I can't sell them. So and people were great. People were absolutely great. You especially, but everybody we ever met. We miss Canada. We miss Toronto a lot. So I think we've been bashing U.S. politicians, so what the hell? We'll take one more shot. I'd love to come see you, but I think if I cross the border, Justin will put me in jail. So I can't. We gotta wait. We gotta wait a little bit until it's safe.
Not jail, just in like 2-week quarantine.
Oh, I got to quarantine for 2 weeks. So, all right.
Yeah, my parents had to do that, quarantine 2 weeks. They actually sent police to their door to make sure they're there.
To check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To check, and they want to see them in person. Yeah.
Yeah, they're serious. They're serious. They've done a great job. I mean, the cases in Canada are way lower than the population's lower too, but they and people comply. People took it very seriously, so that's a good thing. Yeah. We're gonna get back. We got a lot of friends there now, and we're gonna get back as soon as we can. Let's do Q&A. You want to do anything else? What else? You starting a construction company? You're gonna start building reptile cages? What are you doing? You're busy.
Yeah, keeping busy. Just I hired staff. That was something I never did before, so that was a learning curve, getting set up with that, and brought in a whole new office supplies. That kept me busy. So it's a whole bunch of new changes going on here, keeping things interesting.
Yeah, it's great. That's great. So you never, what was it called? The CERB? You were too busy. You didn't get the CERB.
No. With the CRBE.
Yeah, whatever it was called, the Canadian
The Canadian
stimulus.
Reptile Breeders Expo.
No. The thing
Oh,
that when you were
sure.
unemployed because of COVID.
He wasn't unemployed.
That's why I
Yeah.
said he never got that. He had to keep going.
No, I didn't get that.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to do Q&A?
Let's do it.
All right. We're waiting handy dandies on break over here, so we're waiting for. We're going Q&A. You can just drag the corner of his screen. You probably got to unlock it.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gina's a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to these screens.
Hey, we're learning. This is only our second Luna Live. We appreciate everybody coming in.
I think we answered them kind of as they came in, so I'm scrolling to see
Yeah.
if we have any more, but I don't think we do as of right now.
Yeah,
You
we
know.
answered all of them, I think.
You have not only the sexiest shipping guy in the world, but the premier import-export, domestic shipping, reptile classified, courier service in Canada. And he's giving you his time for free. So if you got a question, let's fire away. What's he doing up there? Jay, what's Jay talking about? Blanking. Jay, we've talked about this. You said you were going to cut back. That's an inside joke. Oh, you just signed up? You signed up with Reptile Express? Good. Or classified, or both. Now, Jay...
Thank you, Winter Meadows.
Yeah, Jay's one of the guys that lives up there right next door to Santa. He's up there.
We're in the U.S.?
No, he's in Canada. He's in northern Ontario. It's typically he's one of the guys that was a 2-day ship, but I think he was one of those ones that got there in a day.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep. All right, so he's on classified now. I'll tell you, he started something pretty cool. Him and his wife, they because they're pretty far up northern Ontario, they started a feeders club, and that's Adam. That's Bernie Sanders' boy.
Oh, look, we're getting some questions. All right.
Yeah, they started a feeders club. So Jay, I don't know how often, you'll have to ask him, but he cruises down south, picks up a bunch of crickets and mealworms and stuff, and then brings them back up north. And then he's got all these people on a feeders club subscription program, and they pick up their food. It's been a big help.
Nice.
Yeah, there's not that many pet stores up there, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
All right,
What's
there's
this
your first
question?
one. What's
Oh,
the
the
average
UK?
import cost from the UK?
So UK with that whole Brexit situation, so that changed basically everything.
It's all new
They
tax
were totally
structure.
separate from Europe.
Yep.
Yeah, even the logistics, everything, especially with CITES, that took the biggest hit. You can't even cross.
I think what
CITES.
Adam wants is he wants a Black Knight from Eco Geckos. That's why he's asking that.
Yep. Look.
Yep.
Yeah, we can do UK to US Black Knight. Yeah, that's no problem. The rates are on my website. I can't remember all of them, but they're all there, and it's pretty affordable.
Yeah, I think you think about it the way I think about feeders. If I got to pay $30 to get mealworms, I'm not ordering 100 mealworms. I'm ordering 20,000 mealworms. And then when you break that down, that shipping cost, as a cost per mealworm, it's fractions of a penny. So I think same thing. If you're in Canada, And Jay, next year or this season, when you want to get your 2021 Luna Geckos, I would order, like 200 animals. That way, whatever the import fees are, you won't even feel it. It'll be nothing. Right? He about cleaned me out last year, so I'm counting on. I got a whole rack going just for Winter Meadows geckos right here. It's all reserved.
They're awesome people. I love those guys.
Yeah, really nice.
Very friendly.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about the feeder club.
Uh-huh.
Yep. We're gonna give a 2-minute call on any additional questions that you might have for Sam, and we're gonna let him go because he's got paperwork, he's got import exports, he's got to feed the fish.
He has a real job.
Yeah, he's got a real job, not like me. I just hang out. You got to feed those fish. Where's that reef tank? I don't know if we have Mike from Toronto Geckos on here, but he's a big reef tank guy. So
yeah.
don't show that to Mike.
Guy. Yeah.
He'll get excited.
Your guys' setup, the whole setup you got going here is super pro.
I appreciate that. I'm just the talent, man. It's I use that term loosely. I got Miss Poppy Dog over here. Hold on. Let me go back to my
I can
camera.
Hear him snoring or sleeping.
Yeah, she's right here. Go back to the G phone. I'm on. All right, so this is a handy dandy. This is our screen. These are our lights. Awesome. And look at this. There's Miss Poppy Dog.
She passed out.
Yeah, she's out. So I've got this camera ready because I put up a post earlier that right after we got off the phone doing our system test, I found an African fat tail and first black knight hatch of the season. Well, their clutchmate eggs right before we went live hadn't hatched yet, so I figured before you sign off, we should take one more peek and see if we have a gecko. So
let's do it.
Put Sam back to full screen, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, see that, Mike? Their system is pretty high tech. I love it. Mike at Top Edge, one of our very high volume customers. Awesome guy to work with. High quality leopard geckos in the Maritimes. Good to see you on here, buddy. Let's see some of these black knights.
What are you grabbing? Oh, he's in the incubator.
Alright, I'm back. So the black knight clutchmate did not hatch. And the clutchmate of that patternless Oreo that I posted earlier did not hatch. However, we also have a pair of Oreo eggs here. And look at this. We got a baby. You're not going to like this, but let me get this off of him.
Oh!
We got a baby coming out right now. So you guys are watching an African fat tail, temperature sex female, baby Oreo.
Beautiful.
Just coming out of the egg. Ooh! And she's cranky. Kind of like handy dandy camera lady. Alright, we're putting her back. Take this off screen.
Okay, well. Where are you going now?
I gotta put it back in the incubator.
Sam's like, please don't leave me.
Sam, go in.
I'm still with you. I know you can't see me. Do you prefer this? Oh, God.
It's all the way out now, by the way. We just got.
We
You
even
should
left
show a
his
Black
camera
Knight.
on. Okay. Are you back?
Ah, we're back.
He said you should show a Black Knight.
We're back.
Or you should see if any of those guys are out.
I see the male. He's hiding behind his Strudies. Sam's got to go to bed. It's late on the East Coast. So,
Yeah.
Sam, I tell you, man, we appreciate you doing this and participating in the hatching. We're gonna name that gecko Samantha. That's a temperature sex female. We're gonna name it Samantha to commemorate our second Luna Live with you. So
There you go.
Beautiful. Love it. No, you guys are the best. I was so happy when you guys moved to Canada, and then when you left, I was so sad. I kept texting you how sad I was. And so hopefully we'll see you again shortly, you and Chelsea.
yeah, we appreciate you, man. You guys were great friends and great business partners, and miss you a lot. So hope
See you guys.
hope you have a great season. I'm sure I'll be talking to you, and let me know about the Stratospherus Flacodactylus, whatever they're called. I don't know how to say it. Say it one more time.
Strophurus tanacata.
Tenacata. That's it.
Thanks,
All right,
buddy.
brother.
Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, everybody. Some applause for Sam from Reptile Express International, Tonka Truck, Reptile Delivery Service, Reptile Classifieds, ReptileExpress.com, all of it. See ya. We appreciate
Thank
you.
guys. Thanks for the
Thank you
comments.
so much.
Thanks,
Wow.
guys.
Well, that was a good one, huh? I tell you, Sam. We appreciate you all for tuning in and being part of our second Luna Live. We're not going to do these yet on a regular schedule. I'd like to get them to a regular schedule, maybe every Wednesday. We haven't loaded up enough interviewees or participants yet. We have feelers out to some really cool folks that you guys will be excited about. So stay tuned for our next Luna Live. As soon as we know, we'll let you know. And you would know if you would subscribe and hit that notify bell. You'll never miss one of these. And you should also come on Sunday, because every Sunday, Luna's regular episode, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we open live chat because we set all of those Sunday episodes as a premiere. So there's live chat. So, until Sunday, I'm G. This is Handy Dandy Camera Lady. There's Handy Dandy. And, hold on, give me my phone back real fast. Put it back up on the screen.
Yeah. Hold on.
G phone. Right up there. Oh, yeah.